Okay, this is Best of the West in art, movie, and music. Today we're going to be talking about the best self-help books. We're on, I think, chapter 6 where we go through all the books. So for self-help, of course, it depends on what you need help with. But I'm just going to talk about the books for self-help that I came across in my life that stood out as being extra good. How to win friends and influence people, especially for young guys. Women tend to have better social skills than men, but for young guys, it's a valuable book to read. Basically, what it is be pleasant, be nice, and be helpful to other people and appreciate them, and they'll want you around more. Don't be a whining complainer. All right, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's basically figure out what your goals are and pursue your goals. That was a good book, though. I remember. It's, focus on the long-term success. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. So focus on developing yourself for the long run. Make yourself articulate. Learn how to write well. Learn how to speak well. Okay, Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. I really like that book. He gets you totally psyched up to achieve. Sort of like what I used to say to myself in college and grad school is like, why not me? Why shouldn't I be first in the class? Why shouldn't I win the award? Why shouldn't I set the record? And I think that's a good attitude to have. And then how do you get yourself psyched up to do it? Again, you have to set your goals and you say, what will it take me for me to achieve this? And then you have to get rid of all the distractions in your life. Simplify your life so you can focus on your goals. But he really gets you psyched up. It's a magnificent book, Maximum Achievement. I love that book. Okay? And you can listen to an audiobook in your car, or if you're not doing anything else in your car, you might as well listen to these books. Okay, Dress for Success by John Malloy. A very good book, and it got me thinking about that. Your clothing is a tool that you use to control other people. You show respect for other people by dressing nice. You show them that you're an educated person. Everybody's always worried, especially as USA is descending into becoming a third world barbaric crap hole like so many other places. Dressing nice is a way you say, look, I'm a peaceful, easygoing, nice, educated person, so people are more comfortable with you. Okay, think about it. If you're going to be selling real estate, in order for people to trust you with their money and with their personal information, you have to convince them that you're trustworthy. And part of that comes from being well-groomed, well-dressed, okay? And if you're not, why should they trust you? They don't have any obligation to trust you. Okay, next book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think every kid should read that in a junior high to start having a plan for how they're going to make money. So he did a great job with that, Kiyosaki. Okay, he wrote a bunch of other good books too. A lot of people criticize him, because they're freaking jealous of him, okay? The guy saw a need and he provided the answer to that need. That's highly valuable. This book, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel, kind of also shows you he's good at cutting through the BS, how most corporations are BS, okay? And he gets, towards how do you figure out what's real. And he talks about how most of these real successful companies, they set up a monopoly, okay? They take over a small market and expand it and have a monopoly. Okay, 48 Rules of Power by Robert Greene, sort of the modern Machiavelli book. There's sort of 3 classic Machiavelli-like books. Number 1, there's Thucydides' History of the Peloponnesian Wars, okay? Number 2, there's The Prince by Machiavelli around the time of the Italian Renaissance in the 1500s. Number 3, 48 Rules of Power by Robert Greene. It's a fantastic book. It's really the dirty truth about how stuff goes down. Power wants power. Power acts for power. The CEO of a corporation is not interested in the corporation as much as he's interested in himself. Okay, and understanding that helps you to know how stuff's going to go down, how to predict things, how to behave, how to optimize your own chances for better success. Okay, the next one, and The Prince by Machiavelli is still an all-time masterpiece. But Machiavelli was trying to save Italy. That's what his goal was. Social Justice Warriors Always Lie by Vox Day. It's a brilliant book, and it's also true. Unfortunately, the left has taken over most American institutions, most institutions in the West, and then after that, they destroy everything. Okay. Imagine if sports teams picked their athletes based on diversity. Okay. We need one Japanese person. We need one Chinese person. We need one Egyptian. We need one Indian. We need one Caucasian. We need one black. You would say no. Pick the best players, and it should be like that for everything. Who's the best at whatever the field is? That's what you should pick. And once you stray from that, you're not going to have, the best player in the field, okay? And if you're going to have a monopoly and you're going to turn the field into a joke, what are you going to have, okay? You're going to have a chaos, okay? Anyways, and then there's all kinds of politics. College will say, well, we want diversity. Yeah, well, how many conservative professors do you have? How many white Christian male professors do you have? And you'll find often the answer is 0, okay? They're the most discriminated group in society because they're trying to get rid of them. Okay, Getting to Yes by William Ury is good for negotiation. Okay, Start with No is an even more, this is sort of an introductory level negotiating book. How do you find a win-win situation? But even more powerful is Start with No, negotiation tricks the pros don't want you to know. That one is useful. How people stall for time, how they bully, how they play games. Office Politics by Don Steele is a great book, What They Will Never Tell You. He tells you the dirty inside truth about corporate backroom politics. Highly valuable. Psycho-Cybernetics is a little more along the lines of, maximum achievement, get yourself psyched up. He was a plastic surgeon, and he noticed the psychological difference between patients who do well and the ones who do poorly. It's a great book, though. I knew all these all-American world champion athletes were reading that book back in the 1980s. And it's good. It really is. I like Maxwell Maltz. He basically says you got to get yourself psyched up to get yourself in the right frame of mind to be a top-notch competitor. Charisma Myth by Olivia Cabane is good, about what makes a person have charisma. Speak to Win by Brian Tracy, I thought was my favorite of the public speaking books. There's a lot of good ones out there. My own book, Rhyme, Rhetoric, and Logic, has good chapters on speaking to win, and there's other good ones too. I made lectures on how to do better at public speaking as well. Any of the body language books tend to be good. The one by Pease is good. The one by Navarro is good. Other ones are good too. But you got to learn body language. If you're a woman, you probably already know it. Women are masters of body language because every time a woman talks to a man, she first does a mini mental status test. Are you safe? Are you dangerous? Are you hitting on me? Are you physically dangerous to me? Are you crazy? Why am you talking to me? So a woman's always doing that. The first 20 seconds, 30 seconds of a conversation with a woman is always her mini mental status assessment of you. Okay, so they just tend to be really good at that. Whereas a lot of men are kind of semi-autistic and oblivious. So for me, for example, I had to read all these body language books before I really was more comfortable in my communication with people. I spent so much time just studying and wrestling. Mystery Method, How to Get Women in Bed, about seducing women. I think it's a good introduction to female psychology, but the best female psychology is to watch the videos of the dating coaches. I find that Alexander Grace is a great one. Casey Zander's a great one, and there's other ones good that are good too. That Rich Cooper, John Griffin, and there's other ones that are good too. Amongst the female, I think that lady is really good. Pearl Davis, Pearl she calls herself, and there's other good ones as well. Okay, I think, what's her name? Sophia Eaton, I think she's a real good one too. Wisdom Quotes by Me. Oh, that's for learning the quotes. Basically, the way you memorize all these writers and philosophers is you memorize their best quotes. That's what I do. Anyways, that's the self-help books for today. I hope you found that helpful.